There comes a time amongst men when threats must be backed up or backed off. When revenge becomes an obsession, that time is now. Clash of the Champions 8, Fall Brawl 89. Live Tuesday at 8:05 Eastern on TBS.
Yeah, it has really been a mining for gold situation, buddy, because we have reached, no pun, actually pun intended here, the danger zone of all the shows that are not on the network, not on the cock, as you put it. So we're in the Wild West now, man, which honestly, it was more enjoyable this time around because of how, like, just, just fucking pirate radio it is now. It's just YouTube shitty links that we're living on.
It's definitely interesting because the cock runs out early July, and then even online, like Power Hour, it's impossible. Power Hour is like the show to watch. It's like if you want to watch professional wrestling, Power Hour appears to be the show to watch. It is not easy to catch in any format.
No.
We found playlists with like the matches broken down and things like that. And so I think the one thing that did for us, this time was very difficult because we had to scour stuff, and also the shows were so weird. I mean, I think the 9-2 episode's 35 minutes long with 4 or 5 music videos.
That's nothing. The 9-9 episode is 13 minutes.
And the ones that are going right into Clash, which is kind of your ideal. You want to minimize those shows if possible.
Yeah.
So we had to do a lot of tracking down and try to find stuff. I guess the positive thing is they really let us skip a lot of shitty worldwide matches.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we can just seek out matches and go, ooh, Ron Simmons versus Lex Luger. That sounds good. So we were able to kind of pick and choose a little bit more, I guess, of what we're going to watch.
Well, and like you said, the main flagship show is like MIA at this time. I don't know what the fuck was going on. I still have not figured out what exactly preempted the 9-2 and the 9-9 episodes of WCW. No idea. I looked it up. Braves did not make the playoffs. It wasn't Braves baseball.
But if it's early September, they'd still be playing regular season, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, they were out of
Or did you check the schedule?
And they're just out of the hunt. So they wouldn't have preempted it, is what I'm getting at. They would have just been like, fuck it, I don't know what it could be, because I'm like, what other fucking sport is going on at this time?
Well,
I just thought about it. College football. They
didn't have that on TBS
not
back
on TBS
then.
at that time?
No,
okay.
they couldn't afford that shit.
Okay.
I think it's more baseball because I know the one Power Hour, Jim Cornette was making a comment that like a game went 22 innings or something like that.
Must have been it.
So I think they were showing because they showed the Saturday night show on Sunday morning, and he said he's like, if you stayed up for the baseball game, you might just be catching us right afterwards because we're not even sure if the game's over at this point because it went so long. So they had a lot of weird scheduling stuff. Online. Actually, I wanted to give 2 shout-outs real fast.
Yeah.
To Monsoon Classic and the Regal Stretch.
They're awesome.
You're gentlemen or gentle ladies and scholars for having all these matches online for us.
Yeah, you guys saved the day. Especially Regal Stretch. They're really good about they break it up, but it is the full episode. It's just they broke it up. I like how they name them too, where it's like Doom versus Dickhead McGee and Dickhead Johnson, Terry Funk Enter,
plus Funk's Grill, they kind of add on. You get the whole kit and caboodle there. So
that's the
shout out to those 2 YouTube accounts because and the one that we can't pronounce because it's a bunch of Asian symbols, probably Japanese.
Oh, yeah.
They got like 12,000 videos, and we scoured through there a little bit as well.
Yeah, like Fat Masa from back in the fucking BTE days is like, or someone has to be on that level that made this fucking playlist. It has everything. The coolest thing out of that like weird Japanese playlist though is the first ever, I believe, of any form world tag title match for the Steiners against the Birds on Worldwide. Way better.
Nice.
Probably even better than the fucking match they have on this Clash. It's so good. It's like the Steiners throwing around PS and fucking Garvin, and then at the end, the shit fucking, fuck finish. Amazing. That stuff was great. Everything's Power Hour, like you said, though. It's all Power Hour. And you gave me the fucking Timberland fucking gift to this. But I fucking swear to God, Tommy Rich is like the fucking unsung hero of this fucking time period, okay? He is like fucking on every show. I figured it out.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. He's on every fucking show. I agree.
Here's my thing about Tommy Rich. I know he gets old and fucking boring. I get it, right? In '89, though, he feels like a nice jolt to WCW because it's like you got all these meathead motherfuckers running around. They can't work, but they look great. Like, you know, like, I'll be honest. I love Sid, but he can't work right now. He's just killing people. And that's cool. But you need a guy like Tommy Rich to be like, hey, let's break this down a little bit. Put you in the arm bar. You're going to fight out of it. Come on, man.
I'm going to put you in the arm bar. I'm going to put you in the arm bar multiple times in this match. I'm going to put you in the arm bar 4 times in this match against the Cuban Assassin.
Maybe it's an acquired taste. Okay.
Tommy Rich looks like me describing Ric Flair to a police sketch artist.
Yeah, chewed up.
And when we get to the Clash, there's a very key moment in the Lex match where I had a thought, and then the thought played out for me. So we'll get to that later. But I would rather watch my parents' porno again than any more Tommy Rich matches.
Damn. I'm a big Tommy Rich guy. I will say this. Tommy Rich against Eddie Gilbert on Power Hour, the best worked babyface versus babyface match of all time. They throw 0 punches. It's all just mat, like kind of like rudimentary mat work. That's on, I believe, the 9-1. Is it 9-1?
Eddie had a weird match with Flying Brian too.
Yes.
And so it was kind of strange. Yeah, it was kind of strange where it was like Eddie's friends with Sting.
Yeah,
but he's coming out here fighting like faces, and it felt like it always feels like a heel turn's coming for Eddie. One thing I do want to say, I'm happy the family's back together again.
Yeah, for now.
literally the very next episode from where we watched, Missy walks Eddie out.
Mm-hmm. So that was reconciled for another 6 months. I know they get divorced in '90, but I don't know, man. And then, of course, she becomes like the mentor of one Robin Green. Very interesting little development there, which we haven't seen played out too much yet. Yeah, Power Hour.
Yeah, I'm not sure how we want to approach this whole thing because there's so much going. There's like a lot going on, but it's also disjointed of how it comes back together again. We got the big story of the cycle was Rick Steiner. Rick Steiner has a girlfriend, maybe has a girlfriend. There's a woman Robin Green has come out of her shell a bit. She's no longer, dressed like she's a witness relocation. She's dressing like Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah.
She's getting Miss Elizabeth hand-me-downs and wearing them to the ring. Scott's a little iffy. Missy seems cool with it. She's like, no, she seems like a good girl. And Eddie's just kind of sometimes in the background, sometimes not. And my favorite part is when JR, the man who jizzes in his pants every time Missy Hyatt walks by him, is giving Rick Steiner dating tips. Maybe go to Eddie. Maybe Eddie Gilbert might be a good dating tip person other than JR, the man who pops a boner every time Missy Hyatt bends over.
Well, I just don't really. It's kind of crazy. He came to me for help. It's like, yeah, it is fucking crazy, buddy. And I love in that his biggest advice is, you might want to wear a nice shirt. Well, I know. I got my nicest t-shirt on. All right, well, I guess it'll do. It's like he loves the cuff links that JR has. I love that too. Like, what a subtle, when I think about it, I just put it together. JR subtly told us all, I'm attractive. We're going to do this angle. We're going to talk about how great JR is. And we're going to put old Ricky Steiner over today. Like, come on, JR. I'm sorry, bud. And I don't doubt that that's how he thought back then. I know, based on what I've read and listened to, and he's even admitted, he was a fucking prick at this point. He was very big on, well, for one, he's getting screamed at by Jim Herd every day. He lives in Atlanta. He works in headquarters. He fucking has to sit next to Jim Hurd all day. I get it. But hey, JR, stop trying to get your shit in on these fucking angles that, first off, no one buys. And also, no one buys Rick Steiner's never been on a date. Look at him. Are you kidding?
I mean, we're really acting like Rick has developmental problems.
Oh, yeah, we're leaning heavy.
We're leaning heavily into, he doesn't know how to interact with women or anything like that. I really like how we have made Rick Steiner a star. He won the TV title. We get him with Scott, his brother. We're building up Scott. The two new awesome additions to our tag team division, the Steiner brothers, the Skyscrapers.
Oh, yeah.
They're really forces for us at this point. Neither in the tag tournament, but now they're, kind of forces going forward. The Skyscrapers a lot of times are wrestling. Teddy's just like, Danny, you handle it.
Yeah.
Sid, you get the night off today. So they're just doing handicap matches with the Skyscrapers, basically.
It's amazing.
We get Norman with Teddy as Long. With Teddy Long as well. So we still have the Norman, the Lunatic. Terry Funk dubbed him Norman the Maniac.
Yeah. At
one point, and I was really hoping that would catch on, but apparently we're still with the Lunatic. So
I believe that was during the Funk's Grill where he says, "I want to create a cult, and I want all you kids to spit out your vitamins and wear your underwear for 30 days."
Oh my God.
He beat that line. That was like multi-weeks of a line, by the way. Funk thought that was the best shit ever. I'm going to have all these kids wearing their underwear for a month.
Well, he took say your prayers, eat your say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and he changed it to I don't know, steal your sister's underwear, shit in your neighbor's toilet bowl. He's just doing these things that you get the kids going, but Terry Funk was who we were listening to as children.
I would have absolutely, if I had been older, not an amoeba at this point, I would have absolutely been on the Funk's Grill bandwagon, man. I would have been all about it. I would have been like, fuck yeah.
He has just this crazy manic energy. Like Paulie has a danger zone, but it feels structured.
Yeah.
Terry Funk comes out and feels like he just realized he has to do the segment. And yeah, he's just freestyling, just the craziest thoughts off his dome. It's actually just very fun.
Oh yeah.
One thing with JR too, it sounded like he was behind the youth movement that brought in Flying Brian and some of these newer acts. So good job there. Flying Brian definitely is a strong addition to the team here.
He's amazing. He's doing his finisher right now. Well, okay, I guess his finisher is the splash, but his setup is a springboard lariat, folks, in 1989, and he does it better than anyone today, basically. So that's where Flying Brian was at the time. It's really cool to see too, because they keep shoehorning him and fucking Norman, and I keep being like, I know Jerry Blackwell was an athletic big guy 10 years before this. But this isn't working for me. Stop.
That was the thing. It was Flying Brian going against Norman. I would have rather had Tommy Rich and Norman, and they can just wrestle whatever style they want over there. But Flying Brian going against somebody who can't keep up with them.
Yeah,
and it wasn't really that engaging. Norman as a character isn't really that engaging. One other thing. Well, I have my WTF list basically.
Oh,
Tommy Rich is number 2. First one is the A&W King of the Slam trophy.
Yeah.
I only saw the presentation, I think, 1 week to Rick. So again, this could have been happening on other shows and we missed it. But Ric Flair got presented this really huge trophy. I wonder if he still has it for his A&W King of the Slam trophy, or if he's already sold it. The other thing that I think my most disappointing thing for this cycle is the disrespect for my man Ron Simmons.
Yeah.
Last time we had the tag tournament, and I made a comment. What the heck's going on here? It was Ron Simmons, Ranger Ross. Teddy Long comes out, poaches Ron Simmons from this tag title tournament, and then Ranger Ross goes up there and loses. Teddy Long never adds Ron Simmons to his
No.
roster. No, he'll take that lunatic. But the lunatic is more of a better choice than Ron Simmons, the guy who I got out of the tag tournament. So Ron Simmons now comes back basically as a jobber. He's kind of Randy Rose. He's tagging with Fred Avery, and losing like the Road Warriors or something like that. So he's really kind of going through this. And then all of a sudden, they have the brilliant idea. Let us use Iron Sheik as Ron Simmons' mouthpiece.
Fuck me.
And I just I can't believe I've gone from Ron Simmons being in a tag tournament to being poached by Teddy Long, who doesn't want a thing to do with him, to now being jobber to the stars, basically. That's just so not my thing. At one point, so when Iron Sheik comes out, he tells Paul Heyman he is an intelligent Jew businessman from New York.
This was incredible. I had to actually tell my wife how good this segment was. And let me tell you, folks, she was not impressed. She was like, oh my God, you're really talking to me about Iron Sheik right now? And I went, no, but babe, he's talking to Paul E. And I told him what he said. And she went, oh my God. And then I went, oh, and Ron Simmons is there, which we both met Ron Simmons. Great guy. And she was like, well, I like Ron Simmons. Why the fuck's he with all those guys? And I went, you have to ask the committee. You have to ask Jim Cornette.
Jim Hurd made that decision. We don't know what the fuck's going on out there. It was
so stupid.
The Iron and really, I think it's like the only time we saw Iron Sheik during this reign, like during this time period, maybe twice.
So the story I know about that. So they really were trying to use him here. The main thing was him putting over Sting, which he already did. Cornette claims, at least, that he was so bad. Like, he just deteriorated so bad. And I mean, we all know substance abuse issues.
It's in front of us.
You see it, yeah. He was so bad, at this moment, they quite literally sent him home. They're like, we're going to have him do jobs. So you're pretty much dead on. Ron Simmons at this point is considered job guy level shit. So he was just going to do jobs in a tag team with Sheik, I guess. Sheik's so bad they send him home, and I believe, and it can't be long after this, that is what gets us finally Doom. I don't know what's going on with Butch Reed right now. I don't know if he's hurt or something, but I wonder if that's why we have this weird holding pattern with Ron Simmons, because it is fucking out of nowhere. Like, dude, he's... But then here's the other thing. On the syndicated shows and on Power Hour, he has this great match with Sting on Power Hour during this time. But it's like in a vacuum. So it's very odd.
Yeah, he's on a 5-minute tag jobber match on Worldwide, or he's doing a 15-minute match with somebody that you want to see in the Power Hour. It's just so strange. And I don't know if it's just that, Ron was like Dusty's boy that much and he got dropped for that, or what happened. But it just seems crazy. You see Ron Simmons and like he's just physically looks supposed. And that's the other thing with Scott Hall too. They did these promo videos bringing Scott Gator Hall in, and they have him job out like every match, and then he's gone in like 3 months. Like, they're not planning anything. They do such a bad job of not hyping the right people and hyping the wrong people. Right? They hyped up Scott Hall for us. He'll be gone by like September. The Z-Man shows up at Clash of the Champions.
Ugh.
Why don't you drop a video before that for him? And again, our apologies if they did and we just didn't see it. But they do this often on Clash. They debut somebody new with no warning. And I get it. A debut is cool because it's free TV. But with no warning doesn't help. Get me excited for Z-Man.
Yeah.
It's like they don't know what's happening the next week already. So it's just so weird.
It's also, let's be real, with a name like Z-Man, we need a little clarification here. Like, can you please tell me what Z-Man is?
Z-Man totally should be hanging out with the Dynamic Dudes.
Oh, yeah. And I hope that happens.
Z-Man and the Dynamic Dudes, the trio that nobody cares about.
Do you know? Go ahead.
Do you know what happened to John Laurinaitis during this? They say he broke his cheek or something, but like in the match they show, it didn't. It's just weird. Was it some other injury they were working around?
Yeah, I think he just got hurt, and they were like, "Fuck, he's out for a few weeks," because he is not doing Japan yet. I know that for a fact. He doesn't go over to All Japan until the '90s. After the dudes fail, is when he leaves because he's a piece of shit. But yeah, so that I think is that whole thing. What I was going to say was that little trio that we were mentioning. Yes, they can be over there together while they're doing the fucking job for like the Road Warriors and Tenru, who I wish would have come back, but they were. Oh, I also figured out, totally tangent, but the clusterfuck of all clusterfucks of all time that we saw with Tenru back like months ago, right? That actually is why the All Japan deal that they had with NWA forever stops. Literally.
Oh.
Baba said he said exactly what we said on the podcast, apparently. I know this now from listening to like Between the Sheets and different podcasts where they like literally have the fucking papers in front of them. So it's legit as it can get. And yeah, Baba's whole thing was, if that is as good as the second best fucking, American company can do for us, then we'll go elsewhere. And that is also about a year later when they do the deal with fucking Vince and they do the show after WrestleMania in the Tokyo Dome with them. So that's fucking huge, And obviously WCW picks up the pieces and joins New Japan and everything's good and hunky-dory. And by 91, we've got these epic Tokyo Dome shows with them as well. But I thought that was a fun little thing. So WCW's fucking stupidity has cost them the biggest working agreement they had that goes literally all the way back to like, I want to say like the 60s, 50s. I think Thez worked Rikidozan to start that whole thing. So yeah, that's where we're at. And I think that's a great segue for Dick Slater comes in August. And I think he literally comes in because they're like, oh, well, Funk fucked up his Cossacks. I don't know when he did. Must have been like the job match against Scott Hall. It feels like he like has that, maybe one other match, and then you don't see him other than promos. So they went, fucking what's the next best thing than Funk? Well, nothing. Well, okay, but he's got a shit ton of clones. Who's like the most cloned Terry Funk guy out there in the world? Dick Slater's in Florida. Fuck it. Because let me tell you, folks, you want to talk about a caricature of another guy. Dick Slater, you might as well have sketched him on the beach to a tourist. Fuck me. Like, he's flippy, floppy. He's a fish flop bumper, and I hate that. Fucking dude, come on. But he does have a really good match with Sting on the August 26th WCW show. And so I did write that down. It ends in a fuck deal. And that's cool. Flying Brian saves the day for the whole baby faces, though. So they had ideas. They had a commitment issue at this time. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, not willing to go forward. They just, I don't know if it's because we're getting off the Great American Bash where, it's 30 or 40 dates or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But especially when we get to the Clash, I've seen these matches enough. Like Mike Rotunda versus Dr. Death. I've seen that enough. Samoan SWAT team versus Road Warriors, as much as I love them, I've seen it enough. Like, and I don't know if it's just we've got to wrap up these Great American Bash storylines, and that's why we're doing all this stuff that like you feel like it felt like WWE back when like they'd have Dolph Ziggler in the same match every week. I can't remember if it was versus Miz or something, but like, every week it was just like some variation of the Miz and Dolph Ziggler or whoever it was. And that's what it's feeling like here.
It is. And I think it's because I don't know if there's some sort of bizarre, like, fucking Turner got with them and was like, you gotta get your shit together. So now they're just panicking. At least, mercifully, you were correct. And the ding dongs look like they're ding done. So that's good. Because by Clash, we don't see them even on fucking syndicateds anymore. So yeah, I'm trying to think of anything on TV that's worth fucking talking about, to be really honest. That we watch.
I have one thing here for, again, just the unpolitically correct theater.
Yeah.
There's a Road Warrior interview. They call Paul E. a worm. The Road Warriors fought the Freebirds and the Samoans. Pac likes the taste of blood. He'd probably enjoy the taste of Samoan blood.
Oh yeah.
And they're going to put those Samoans on a flotilla and back to that scumbag island of theirs.
Wow. Okay, well.
WCW is not going for the Samoan viewership at all, because every time you hear about Samoa, it just sounds like, I mean, honestly, like Florida at this point, but they try to make it sound, so crazy. And again, another Dr. Death Mike Rotunda match happening on one of them. It's just too much, man. I can't handle this much of the same thing. I have a Flair interview. Please kill me.
Yeah.
Top 10 does make an appearance on the Power Hour. The Power Hour is cool. Power Hour is cool if you get the flip. So it's good. They'll give us a top 10, which, it makes like 75% sense. And they also give us Gordon solely with the Worldwide Wrestling News. And it's kind of cool because I think when I watched, like, they were talking about WWC in Puerto Rico.
Oh, yeah, they talk about everybody.
Yeah, so it's kind of a cool, except for, except for one company. But yeah, they kind of talk about everybody. It's pretty cool. So
I do know they do mention them at one point, actually. They say something about, I don't remember how they word it. Titan Sports, maybe, is how they get away with it. Well, in Titan Sports, they had a big extravaganza pay-per-view. And they don't, give, but I remember that was a big deal. That was later, probably for Survivor Series or something.
The 812 is a great Power Hour. 812 Power Hour is a great example of what the show is like. They have Shane Douglas versus Mike Rotunda. They have Eddie Gilbert versus Muda. JR is so horny for Missy. And Hawk versus Samu. So they, and it's from Baton Rouge, so it's from the road. So it's kind of what the people are seeing in the arena. So Power Hour becomes kind of this live event, 10, 15-minute matches, stuff that's worth watching, and definitely a saving grace, because the worldwides were not cutting it at all.
Yeah, Worldwide's a mixed bag, and then the WCW show. I mean, for one, it's like they're okay when you get them full. And right now we're not getting them full. And it looks like no one got them full, because there were multiple versions that I found that were all 30 minutes, 13 minutes. So like you said, there had to have been some sort of game that kept fucking up. It's like 2 weeks in a row they got fucked by the preempted from the game thing, which sucks, Because what are you going to do? It's Saturday, and everything's going on, man. You can't be mad about it.
And heading into a clash, right? It's just weird, and they just got to figure out, they had to figure out how to bounce on the fly with that. Yeah. One other arrival, I guess we get to, is Brad Armstrong showing up too, which he's a nice addition, like Flying Brian. I think that's, for me, I like these young guns. I don't like these old hands that we're bringing back from 10 years ago.
No.
So, yeah, it's not the week-to-week, definitely kind of a rougher thing. I like, I feel like, was it new that the SST changed their theme to Halloween?
It has been, and it's been great.
It has been? Okay.
Yeah.
I only really just started noticing it this cycle. So, loving that, because I love Halloween. And I love the Halloween Havoc promos that we get in the Clash. I love the Halloween Havoc promo. They're great. So it gets excited for kind of a first-time thing. And hyping us up for a pay-per-view that's like 2 months away, a month and a half away. So it makes you feel like maybe they're planning something. Maybe we're planning something. I think one other thing before we get to the Fall Brawl was just the number of music videos.
Yes.
The one episode, it's one of the last 2 episodes, I think it's a 35-minute one. They show us 4 straight music videos. I think they just gave up during the show and said, fuck it. Yeah. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning because we're after a baseball game. Let's play music videos. So they got Dynamic Dudes with Don't Worry, Be Happy, which is as amazing as it sounds.
Yeah.
The Skyscrapers with White Stakes in the Still of the Night. Great. During this cycle, there is the Funk Pile Driver video. We won't talk about that one now. Brian Pillman has Def Leppard's Rocket. Yeah. And Road Warriors have Bronze Man by Brown Sap. It's just, I don't understand why theirs is just a little bit not the right one and everybody else's is, but they got their music budget for this cycle and they fucking used it, man. Bobby McFerrin getting that WCW money.
Yeah, they were fucking, that was like $200,000 in one show of just music for that time.
And the videos are so, I created this in a mall studio in 1988. Yeah. It's just so that record a song and make a music video for you. That shit that used to happen, people.
Oh yeah.
All right, we ready for Fall Brawl, man?
Yeah, let's get the Fall Brawl going. Good crowd, Columbia, South Carolina. I believe we're on campus of the Cox, who I hate because I'm a fucking Arkansas fan. They whip our ass like every goddamn year, so we're not going to talk about it now. But you want to talk about a fucking breath of fresh air, and I know he's fucking controversial now. Jim Cornette and JR on commentary is like, thank God. We can only hear so much Bob fucking Caudle, right? Like, let's get some new blood in this shit. And at least Cornette was great with, he is playing babyface at this point, but he, is he really a babyface? And he plays that well for commentary. He knows why he's there.
Yeah, I mean, Cornette doesn't, I don't like his Catskills shtick of, the Henny Youngman shit. But he does a really good job of hyping up everything. So even when he's talking about the Midnights, for instance, he'll bring it back to Flair in the main title program. So he does a good job kind of incorporating everything.
Yeah.
And it gives us at least, Bob is just white paint. Yeah. So getting Jim Cornette is something that at least gives us some spice in a match, some kind of a conflict, some kind of a back and forth. Like JR and Bob never joked with each other except for when they were sweating, maybe.
Yeah.
And so for Jim to match up like this, I'm not looking forward to Cornette, but I'm looking forward to Cornette.
We started off immediately, Gary Hart with Gordon in the back. There's no problems with J-Tech's co-op. See you later.
Gordon is such an amazing reporter. Gary, we hear there's dissent in your camp. No, there's not. Okay, I guess that's the news.
Fuck, you told
no
me.
more digging. No probing questions. Oh, he answered the question. He's obviously telling the truth. We're good.
Yeah, like you definitely, and again, not speaking ill of the dead, but let's be real. It's like one of those things where Gordon's like, just have my liquor off camera, buddy. I'll do whatever you need me to do. Okay, I'm here for the check.
Gordon is such great unintentional comedy.
Yeah.
Like he'll be standing there between like the skyscrapers. And then they walk away and they just kind of zoom in on Gordon just standing there still. And every time I'm like, it just made me laugh. It just looks like almost like an Office thing where it's just the take at the end of him just sitting there going,
yeah.
Oh, the guy just left me. I'm a dork.
He looks like your great grandpa. Not your grandpa. Your great.
You're great.
That motherfucker. And I'd imagine at this time it would be talking about the First World War. You know what I mean? Like he's that old. Well, I was in the Great War.
This is weird too, because like they know Terry's not wrestling, but the whole show they have us hyped up for Terry wrestling. Like he's into graphics and stuff like that. And so definitely feels bait and switch.
It also go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Just the point of, this really seems to be the plague of WCW. There's no communication between creative and production. Ever.
Yeah, it's just so weird. I mean, I'm glad we have had Dick Slater around so we kind of ease him into the situation. But don't worry, so eventually Gordon will get to the bottom of this with his intrepid reporting.
Yeah, of course. We got Road Warriors, Samoan SWAT team. This was phenomenal. This is what we've been really building to in the tag division, it feels like. Just a lot of fucking doing crazy spots from SWAT team. They beat the shit out of fucking Hawk. Hawk takes a disgusting bump through the fucking ropes to the floor at one point where he goes to like do like a shoulder block into the corner. That was nasty as fuck. They work on Hawk. He kind of sells, which is weird because they used to not even bother to try. And then, Animal gets that Fuego tag, and it's on, and it's not long after Fatu eats the most horrific doomsday in the history of 1989. They lose. SST leaves Paulie hanging in the ring. And I'm like, oh, we're already not. So, to me, I'm like, I don't want that. You know what I mean? Let's keep this going. I'm sure it's just a fucking tease, but
they let us know the Samoans are warlike beasts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just it's a match where nobody seems concerned about hurting the other people.
Mm-mm.
They fucking hit, and it's like we'll be good. We'll drink some beers together afterwards. Samu got hit with the phone, and so that was kind of the big thing at the end. They got mad at Paulie because they seen a phone in the mat. But I mean, the Samoans, they're wild savages. They need a mouthpiece.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't feel like something where they can turn face, but maybe they can because we love them, right? So it's kind of like one of those things. It's all how you play it. Maybe you make them like a sheep herders became. What did they become in WWE?
Oh fuck, the Bushwhackers. Yeah.
Bushwhackers, yeah. Just you can kind of do that with the Samoan SWAT team. Make them kind of like a comedy Bushwhacker type act or something.
Yeah. Well, that's basically what the Shrinkers were. Let's be real.
Yeah. That was a great match. I don't need to see them wrestle again for at least 6 months.
No, please don't. And I'm sure we do. Actually, I know for a fact we do, because guess what? They do a fucking G1 style tournament with the tag teams and the singles for Starrcade this year. So that happens within 3 months.
Well, I mean, in a tourney, I can accept it.
I don't remember it being a fun situation. I'll put it that way.
We got our first Halloween Havoc promo after this match.
I loved it. I think I already put it on social media. If not, I absolutely will to promote.
Yeah, good stuff. Another addition we got this cycle was Cuban Assassin.
Love Cuban. Another guy. Big fan of Cuban Assassin right now.
I felt so disappointed he didn't have a mask.
Yeah.
He is Fidel Castro's favorite wrestler. We know that.
Confirmed.
And he's taking on the Z-Man, who apparently is obsessed with sleeper holds. And what a coincidence. His matches put me in a sleeper hold.
You want to talk about the most whatever fucking wrestler in the history of this business. To me, it's Z-Man. What did he... this is him breaking away from the whole, I'm a tag
Can-Am Connection?
Can-Am Connection. He fucked that up because he's an idiot. I don't know what the fuck he's been doing since then. I guess maybe AWA, I would assume, because he's a Minnesota guy. Either way, he fucking is not good. He's a prime example of that 80s guy that looks phenomenal. He looks like Rick Martel. He wrestles like Lex Luger. And that's the problem with me. And I'm not a fan. Like I said, all this sucked. Cuban is the thing keeping all this together. Cuban's great. Cuban's a fucking incredible seller. I also got to get this line in. He does arm drags thinking he's Steamboat, but he's more Cleveland Steamer. So.
The Cuban Assassin was just a fun addition to Cycle. For that kind of, like a star jobber kind of. He actually got some offense in on the matches, so appreciate that.
I think he has the best not with Ricky Steamboat Flair TV match of 89. His fucking Flair match on, I think, Power Hour, maybe even Main Event during this time is like fucking great. They just beat the shit out of each other. I think
Power Hour.
Yeah, it was great. I was like, oh my God, Cuban Assassin? Really? Dave Sierra, I think is his real name. Okay. Fuck yeah. Let's do it. Fucking another guy.
Better than Fred Avery.
We got Norman the Lunatic out here. And we ain't giving Cuban Assassin a push? That would have worked in 89. Are you kidding? That could have been great. Put him with Sheik. He might have been able to carry his ass. Anyway.
Seriously. It's just, whatever, man. Governor Carroll Campbell. I haven't checked out to see what scandals involved in his life. He presents a proclamation to Ric Flair that he is the greatest wrestler that has ever lived or something like that.
Two things that I immediately noticed about this. Flair looks like, and I said there's no other way to put it, and I'll just say it. He looks like he's on heroin. He's so just zooted out. He's gone here. I don't know if he is hungover to all fuck or if he is actually still fucked up, like from the night before. The other thing is, Ric Flair Day is September 12th, you say. Pretty apropos for the future, I would think. I mean, the day after 9/11 is Ric Flair Day. Just keep the sadness going, just the disappointment, the sadness. I think it works. So I think we should continue that tradition. I think we just 2 days of sorrow. Let's do 2 days of sorrow because this guy's such a fuck up. Let's do it because Flair didn't give a fuck. I can tell you that much. He's got the governor of South Carolina over here, and he's just like, thank you. Yeah.
Oh. Ric Flair, the cycle got a proclamation from a governor and the A&W Slam of the Week trophy. I mean, this man is well regarded.
It's unbelievable. He might actually be able to run for governor.
Not anymore.
Actually, yeah. Probably better chances.
Probably, yeah, probably could, yeah.
But, yeah.
Next, Ranger Ross versus Sid Vicious. Ranger Ross, good knowing you.
Yeah, that's basically this. And I said, Sid easily has to be the best Arkansan wrestler ever. And that tells you right there. Yeah, no, I believe, and this isn't even like putting anyone over, I think Sid is the greatest Arkansan wrestler in history because Sid is legit from West Memphis, Arkansas. I'm trying to think anyone else from Arkansas that ever got into wrestling. Can't think of anybody. And if they did, they sucked because we sucked.
They were not Sid Vicious.
Yeah, exactly.
I kind of love that he's Sid Vicious because the rock star Sid Vicious is dead, and so that name is just up for grabs.
I love it.
There's no intellectual property. No, I'm Sid Vicious now, bitch. I was a bassist for the Sex Pistols.
Yeah,
but I just don't get why it's this match and not a Skyscrapers match. They could have beat the shit out of some made up tag team or some jobber team.
It's weird.
So yeah, it's just weird. And Ranger Ross, yeah, he gets his ass beat in like a minute and a half.
Yeah, we are officially in the Ranger Ross complete job guy era, and then JR, man. JR
first steps to the motorcycle bandit is losing to Sid Vicious in 1 minute.
JR is a fucking Nostradamus of the wrestling business. He tells us straight up he thinks Sid will be a future world champ. I said, boy, you are so correct and not the way you think.
It is so interesting at this time. So we're August, September of '89. They are so focused on who is going to be the tag team of the 90s.
Yes.
They talk about it like so much. And it's just like, guys, 10 years is a very fucking long time. And if you're in a tag team for 10 years, like, I don't know, man, it might be a you issue. I'm not sure. Like, it's back in these days, it's just so strange how they're trying to prepare for that future. I mean, yeah, we can look at those guys and see they're going to be good. I care more about the team of 1990 than the 1990s. And you guys came to tell me what's happening next month.
And they're not, because the Steiner brothers were the tag team of the 90s all along. So they were kind of, in the ballpark, but as usual with WCW, they're lost in the woods, They're just like, well, we have this great roster, but we don't know what the fuck we're doing. And like you said, why are we doing all these singles matches? There was another one where Dan Spivey, I think, kills Scott Hall on a show not long before this. And I'm just like, again, put Scott Hall with a job guy, have this a tag match, come on, let's put something on the Skyscrapers a little bit.
If you're telling me that the Skyscrapers can beat up all these tag teams 1-on-2, like they should be getting a fucking title match. Like
now.
It's actually kind of interesting because, the Brad Armstrong shows up. It's his first match I think I saw. He's getting a U.S. title match.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just because they're like, we've run out of people, so we need somebody new, so you automatically get that. But it's like, if you join the company, you get a title shot.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get you one within a week. What about rankings? Oh, fuck them rankings.
Rankings? Look at Funk. He won like 2 matches.
That's for those people.
Yeah.
Fuck so that. It's just, it's this really wild, weird time. But yeah, give me more Skyscrapers and less Sid destroying Ranger Ross. That don't impress me much.
Fuck no.
Next segment, we go to JR, and that's why I messaged you and said, JR looks like he's wearing a lot of makeup.
Oh, yeah.
He really had LB's big boy look with the rosy cheeks standing next to Cornette. And then we get Missy and Robin go shopping.
Uh-huh.
The one thing I do want to state for the record is I looked it up. Pretty Woman premiered March 23rd, 1990. So there is a slight chance that they ripped off the skit for Pretty Woman. I know it's not true. I know they're probably done filming it already, but I'm going with it. It predated Pretty Woman, this shopping.
Yeah. I like the line, too, from, I'll just call her Woman, because she's Woman. I like when Woman says, oh, yeah, he left me his card, and the best part is he gets the invoices sent to his home. And it's like so old days, right? Like now No way, right? He'd get a text alert or something. It's just so 89 that it's like they'll mail it to him in like a month. He's on the road. Like, she's already that fucking evil bitch. I love it.
We escalated quickly.
Yeah.
She went from like super shy woman to in 2 weeks like, no, all the money is mine. Give me your money.
And it makes you wonder, like, did they have Doom already in mind, or did they just fall into that and make it work? Because I wonder here.
They did an incredible job miking in the limousine. Instead of just shooting it in a limo without the car moving, they decided it was important to get on the road because you can see cars driving in the background. So the whole time it's like they're talking in the car, and 50% of the noise is the motor from the limo. It's like they put them like right next to the engine as they're recording inside. It's just the craziest thing. But yeah, they're basically going on a pretty woman shopping spree. Women spending all of Rick's money. I go back to the fact that Rick may not understand the concept of money. And so is it really that bad?
Yeah. It's not. Take advantage, kids.
Yeah. I mean, he seems to be going for it.
Oh, he's very going for it.
Find a mentally ill Michigan graduate, ladies.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, they got themselves a world tag title match here with the Birds, the Free Birds, and I loved this match. I was shocked at how well these old fuckers, which they're not even old, but like to the TV audience, they feel old. You know, like the Birds have been doing this for what, 10 years almost now on national television. And so in different iterations, but still, I mean, a lot of people are very low on Jimmy Jam coming into the fold. I think it works. He's so goofy, you know.
At this point, Terry's gone over to All Japan.
Yes.
So I looked to see like, where's Terry at? He's over there. So it's like,
he's killing it.
It still feels weird. Yeah, it does feel weird though, because it just feels like the Skyscrapers would beat the Free Birds. Road Warriors would, Simone Swap. Like, it feels like everybody really could beat the the Freebirds.
Maybe
it's good. The chicken shit heels. You know, I mean, that's kind of they're purely sissies. Is that what the PS stands for? Purely sissies.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the issue though, because they act like chicken shit heels, but the way they're always positioned is they're like these beat up, like kind of badasses, and it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. Like, that isn't what they are. So that I don't like. I think this match is perfect for them because they are the chicken shit heels. They're not even going to bother acting like they're tough with the Steiners, which I love because they're not. And the Steiners throw them around like sacks of shit. And it's so beautiful. There's a point where Jimmy Garvin gets fucking suplexed and you can just see it. He's laying there as a shoot. Like, I need a minute. Hold on. And then, of course, what happens? Scott just tags in Rick. All right, well, now you're going to get stretched instead of suplexed. And he's like, fuck. Great. Thank you. It's very hard hitting. It was a good match. But at the end, it's WCW.
I loved the production on this.
Yes.
They had 2 different shots and did not catch the trip on any of them.
Yeah.
And it's great because it leads us to the mystery. Did she do it? Did she not? You know, if we saw her do it, the mystery's gone. They somehow missed both shots from on the ring apron and from outside. And I don't know how you missed both, but it's amazing that they did. If they purposely did that, bravo.
It was great. That was fine. I'm also like what we said earlier, right? Like the Birds, like any of your rudimentary tag teams could beat these guys. It's like the thing today with Moxley and the world title for AEW, right? It's like, are we really just going to keep the title on the Birds when you got like 3 teams already that are better than them? Very odd. But it's one of those classic, it's for the storyline, and I get that. And then at the end, I like that they're so dumb that at one point, they're just pointing at Missy, too. Like, maybe you did it. And Missy's like, I was, like, right in front of you. That was good.
Like, the one thing that gets frustrating watching these is, you know, they're fighting, they're fucking each other up. And just how many matches end because a foot is on the rope for leverage. Or... like I said, like, you know, somebody trips you from outside and you're dead, you know, and you get pinned. Like, it's just such a weird thing all the time. For Dr. Death, gets tripped. He's 300 pounds and he can't get up. Like, I don't know, man. But yeah, this is a good match. This is definitely one to check out. Steiner's just tossing fools like always.
Definitely. It's not like a boring headlock fest. Flying Brian and Norman the Lunatic do it one more time, and I don't care here either. Thank God. It's short-ish. It's longer than it needs to be by a lot. And we get a nice little Pillman crucifix pin to end it. I just wrote in all caps, stop this angle. No fucking more. I don't want to see it again.
Flying Brian came out with cheerleaders. I don't know if they were the Cox cheerleaders or not. So that was fun. One thing also I kind of noticed about Norman is I think he might be wearing Jesus jammies. If you don't know do you know what that is?
Yeah.
So, because I was kind of amazed that his ass crack never showed.
Yeah.
And I became fascinated with Norman's ass crack and searching for it. And I think he's wearing like kind of the Jesus jammies, onesie thing under there where ass won't show.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I could not take my eyes off Norman's crack. I was waiting the whole time for his crack to pop out because he was like a plumber in that ring.
Yeah, he was a sloppy looking mess, ass crack or not. And fucking at the end of the match, I love that like Teddy has the key to his mental facility cell. And I said, Teddy moonlights as the facilitator of the mental health institution. It explains his dope wardrobe. He's got a lot of money, guys. It's not from wrestling. And the abomination that we already talked about. They're already calling him Captain Mike Rotunda, so the horrible gimmick change is coming against Dr. Death Steve Williams. This is fucking so long. It's not really good. I love me some Dr. Death. I don't love me some Dr. Death selling a fucking eye poke. Okay? This sucked. And it just
I love that you say it's too long. It was 7 minutes long. You're like, no, way too long.
Way too long, man.
So long. And Flying Brian match was 3.5 minutes. And we're like, no, way too fucking long. Way too fucking long.
Oh, 100%. None of this should have been on a fucking major show. It's fucking terrible. Doc, again, they keep this wishy-washy bullshit with him with the booking where it's like, he's a big deal, and then he just is like a mid-card looking guy. How the fuck is he not destroying Mike Rotunda again in like 2 minutes? Mike Rotunda's not won shit in how long?
Yeah, there's like, we're going to make Dr. Death the number 6 contender. We'll just throw him in there. That seems right, even if he's losing. Cool. Yeah, I wrote down at the beginning of this, I'm good. No mas. I need no more of this matchup like ever. I feel like I've seen it enough. I love, so we're down to sports now. We have 2 sportsmen here. We have Mike Rotunda, 2-time semifinalist in the NFL punt, pass, and kick competition. He was also a defensive tackle at Syracuse University versus Dr. Death Steve Williams, the most recruited high school lineman and future Oklahoma offensive guard. So they're letting us know these 2 are athletes. We didn't know that before. And then, just kind of a weird pin thing again. And you go, Dr. Death shouldn't be pinned like that.
Just fucking stupid. And then the fucking Luger promo next is not much better. He's with Gordon, and Gordon can't even make this like really good at one point. Luger says he's the showpiece of the showcase. What the fuck does that mean? I don't know. But I also pose this question to you, Lex. Okay, you're so great. Weren't you the dude just a year ago that couldn't win the world title? I mean, hey. I wish Tommy Wildfire would have just beat you, to be real fucking honest, because,
this match has got 4 stars from Wrestling Observer newsletter, which is kind of crazy.
No, it's great. All right, this is the deal.
Okay, so the match goes on. Lex is just the big flex monkey in there. Tommy Rich is doughy Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Right when, I swear to God, when Tommy Rich is going for that suplex over the rope, I immediately said, he does not look big enough to do this.
Yeah.
And then he immediately dropped Lex on his head.
Oh.
Right, immediately after my thought. I'm like, he just does not look like he can lift this guy. And then just drops him on his head. Oh. I said, it's good thing Lex does not skip neck day.
Yep. because it was nasty. I think we figured out what happened with Tommy Rich's push. Let's be honest, right?
You almost killed our U.S. champion. You almost paralyzed him.
I loved it because I hate Lex so much. But it was nasty.
I just think the ending is fucking nuts, man. It's Tommy Rich has Lex in a sleeper hold, and Lex falls off the apron, basically hitting Tommy Rich's armpit off the rope, and that is enough to pin him.
It was bad. You know what I noticed? And I don't know if you noticed this. At the very end, the schmoz on the outside where Rich runs out to the floor and starts beating on Lex. I don't know if that's planned, because there's a moment where you see Lex like in the wings of the entrance. He does not look pleased. He looks really fucking angry. Like he really looks like, what are you doing?
I mean, if I was Lex, I'd be fucking pissed. Like, I could not believe how he dropped him on his head. That looked so bad. It was just immediately after I thought, he does not look big enough to do this.
Yeah,
crazy.
Man. Poor old Wildfire. Hey, I love him. I don't care.
Flair and Sting talking to Gordon. We get pumped Sting. Sting's pumped for this one. It's not the somber Sting or anything else.
What about the Funk promo first, though, in the fucking hospital bed? That was so pro wrestling, man.
It was weird, too, because you're like, Terry's in the building.
Yeah.
But then he's also videotaped from a hospital. And it just seems weird, too, because Rick and Sting are like, Terry, if you're in this building. And I'm like, you guys entered today assuming he's in the building.
Yeah.
What has changed for you? You expected him to be here. If he's here, he's here. Like, it doesn't seem like that big of a conspiracy theory to me.
No. The Flair and Sting promo also very disturbing in that at one point Ric Flair says, it's love and war. Love? Who are you fucking? Interesting.
He's just saying words to say them. And then you add it, when you get stuck, you say woo.
I also love that he looks maybe a twinge more sober here. And I mean a twinge. I'm like, whoa, Rick, you have a little bender in South Carolina? I don't know what happened. So that leads us to the main event, brothers. It's the big decision time. Flair and Sting. Who are they going to wrestle? It's going to be just Great Muta and Dick Slater. So no, like, they like sort of mention, I think, on commentary, like, well, you know, Terry he can't wrestle this one, but he said he's around, and it's like the most bullshit like bait and switch to me, where it's like you never made an announcement, you're like, well, he's in the building, really? Okay, that's the standard now. You know, it's like if fucking the Thunder and Pacers game 7 the other day, it would have been like, well, I mean, the Thunder are out back in the bus, but we're going to send out the Tulsa college squad out tonight. What? It's not bait and switch. It's like, yeah, it is, because Dick Slater's not as good as Terry Funk. Okay?
They literally showed Terry Funk on the graphic like 2 commercial breaks ago. And it just feels strange. Yeah. Also a little strange, because the story for us is that Terry's arm is broken, right?
Yeah.
And Dick Slater is out there with a cast on his arm. So his arm is also broken? Like, it's kind of weird. It's like Dick Slater's man enough to fight with a broken arm, but Terry Funk isn't.
So fucking weird. Yeah. Well, they did the angle where he got hit too. It's just a mess, man. They booked themselves in such a bullshit little corner. The only thing I'll say about this was the only cool part of when Dick Slater was when he was in with Flair, because Flair just beat the shit out of him. And that was cool. Mm-hmm. They just beat the fuck out of each other. And it's basically like him versus Ronnie Garvin if Ronnie Garvin wasn't so good. Sting and Slater's great too, because there is like a legit history of heat there. I don't know if you even know the story, but Dick Slater kind of beat up Sting in the back one time at Mid-South because this whole drama with Dark Journey. Do you know Dark Journey is the old, okay, she was a valet in Mid-South, right? And I think she might have legit been married to Dick Slater at the time. It went out, some guy like was being inappropriate with her. It was not Sting, but someone said it was Sting, and it's Dick Slater. You can tell even by his shitty gimmick that he's an asshole. So he literally goes in the back and just smacks Sting and starts beating him up. And Another great example of Sting's actually a shoot great guy is he never laid a hand on Dick Slater. Got the shit beat out of him that night. And you got to think about it. This is like 86. He's a greenhorn in the business, really, like a year in the business. So they're not buddies, I'll put it that way. And you can see in this match where Sting, they work stiffly. Sting just fucking smacks him hard as shit. This is good. Muta, of course, is the fucking MVP of this whole thing. Muta and Flair specifically, to me, together, is the MVP of this thing. Because Sting kind of, he's there and he's a star, but you can tell that he's sort of in the background. Since Slater, you can tell the fucking structure of this was going to be Sting and Funk were going to do their cool shit by themselves, and then Muta and Flair. I don't know if maybe they're thinking Muta Flair for the title at some point, which I don't know if we ever get on TV. But either way, this was fun for what it was. I fucking wish Funk was in this motherfucker, but he's not. I'm trying to see what even fucking cool happened here.
So one thing I thought was cool was, I believe it was Sting maybe had the Scorpion Death Block on, and Gary Hart came in with a roll of quarters or whatever and smacked him. And they did a good job because it felt like it was going to knock him out. But the referee was trying to get Flair out of the ring, and it took so long that Sting was able to eventually kick out from that. That was a pretty cool moment for some suspense. You know, really thinking they were kind of going down there. I actually liked the fuck off finish because this wasn't the match we cared about.
No,
we wanted Funk and Muta. We got Slater, and Dick Slater is basically just a wild card. He's Murdoch from the A Team. He's waiting for Owen Heat. He's the one guy, like, something goes wrong, he is going to do the wrong thing. You know, and so Dick Slater's like, fuck it, we're people cast, I'm getting disqualified. And so I kind of liked it because this was a match we didn't care about. And it really fucked up Flair. They took it out on Flair. They took it out on Sting. Really beat our heroes up. It was funny, and then they disappeared. And then they come back, and then Brian Pillman's out there with Sting. Yeah. And I'm like, what took you so long, Brian? Sting's the guy that saves everybody, so nobody knew what to do when Sting gets attacked.
Fuck, man. Yeah, that was good. I like that he hit him with the branding iron immediately. Fucking, blade job by Flair. Awesome, of course. Flair wasn't going to show up unless he got to blade, So that was good. That was fine because it leads us to our next episode. Because the main event, of course, of the very first ever Halloween Havoc, October 28th, is, of course, finally Muta and Funk against Flair and Sting in the, what was it, the
Thunderdome match.
Thunderdome.
With special referee Bruno Sammartino.
Bruno, brother, because it's in Philly, and he's a huge star.
Oh, Philly. Oh, shit, we got Bob again next time.
Yeah, we get Bob. But that's because Jim Cornette finally actually has a Midnights match on this. I believe that's the Midnights and Dynamic Dudes are on that podcast. Christ, that pay-per-view. Trying to think of anything else of merit. I think maybe we get Pillman and Luger for the U.S. title too.
Yeah. I've got it up. I've got it up for us.
It's a great show.
I mean, it looks like it's gonna be fun. I do love it's the Four Horsemen with just two people.
Oh God!
Very Big 10, very Big 12 energy there.
Yeah.
And the best thing at the end of the show was call the wrestling hotline to find out what happened to Sting.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you this. I wore that tape out when I was a little kid. I would rent Halloween Havoc 89 again and again and again.
Nice.
I love it. Because, when you're a kid, Halloween's already the coolest fucking shit ever, And I just love Halloween Havoc. It was my favorite thing.
Halloween and wrestling. They go together.
Perfect. Yeah. So I'm very excited for that. Hopefully the TVs aren't so fucking preempted. I mean, Jesus Christ. I can't think of any other fucking sport going on in late September.
We should, it feels like we should be getting out of that zone. I didn't look ahead at the episodes. I think the episodes going forward are pretty solidly together for us.
Yeah.
But hopefully our scouring is a little easier this time than this past time.
Yeah, and we're getting to the end of 89 because it's just Halloween Havoc, and then of course that next one. Well, there might be a clash in the middle there. I think there is a clash in November.
Yeah, it looked like a clash was coming up.
So we'll do that.
A lowly rated clash.
No, yeah, of course it is because it's in the middle of two really good shows, and we know one thing about WCW: they can't do 3 shows in a row that are good.
Actually, you know what? This clash, the next clash is 11:15, and it actually has a higher rating on Cage Match than Halloween Havoc.
Whoa. Okay, then maybe we got a banger. I don't remember it because I don't know if
We get
watched it.
Funk Flair I Quit match.
Oh yes, New York Knockout, of course.
Steiner's skyscraper. So I mean,
okay, yeah.
Next two events look pretty decent for us.
Never mind. Our next episode is that one. It will be incredible. Or not next episode, but the episode after.
Next, yeah.
Will be fucking great because that is great. I've never seen that full show though. I've only seen the Flair Funk match, so that'll be great. We're getting into the territory that I don't know zero about. Like I had never seen Fall Brawl 89 before this, so it was okay.
I think it's new for me too. I'm pretty sure, or it might be somewhere I was kind of tuning back in, as I could, or I got annoyed with all the preemptions and just gave up. Who knows?
I was gonna say because this one is weird because traditionally I've noticed clashes are always on Wednesdays. This one was on a Tuesday back then, so I bet the ratings were not phenomenal there. But either way, loved the show. I don't know if there's anything else even to say about this. It was kind of like the most piecemeal fucking show we've covered.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Fall Brawl, I feel fun event. Some of the matches a little long in the tooth for me. I'm repeating them too much, but looking at this next round, it feels like it's gonna be a bit of a fresher go for us.
Thank God. So as usual, Jim, you are the JIMDB, like everywhere. Which thank God you were able to do that because if you notice, I got fucked. And Troubles Weekly is what the show is on Blue Sky. Couldn't get it on Instagram or Threads. I had to be Troubles Wrestling Pod, which is fine, but it's like, fuck, I love that unity. I want that synergy. Everything the same. Yeah. Drives me crazy.
I'm signing up for TikTok. I'm just signing up for all the things and just getting my name at least locked down for me.
I should have done that years ago. So,
yeah.
Until next time, go fucking check out some Power Hour. It really legit was some of the coolest shit of the 80s. And early 90s eventually. So with that, thank you for checking us out, and we will see you next time.
Down the road.